Hey Mo, you're on mute.
There we go. All right. You know what? We're live and in person though.
We are. The doctor is in.
It's true. It's true. And it is giving Tuesday, but it bled over into Wednesday. And I mean, and it's a season of giving, right? Not
Well,
just
actually,
giving
actually, it's
thanks.
next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is Giving Tuesday. So, we have Black Friday. We have,
Hmm.
I don't know, what is Saturday? I think Small Business Saturday or something.
Is
And then
it?
Cyber Monday. And then we're hoping that people aren't broke. So,
Right.
on Giving Tuesday.
I was going to say, I think that could be Saturday, Sad Pocket Saturday. But you know what? If
I know.
you save something Saturday, then you'll have something to give by Tuesday. So I think we can all plan ahead.
We can, but I know, Nate just came home from the PX, because he lives at Andrews Air Force Base all the time, but they were selling 65-inch TVs for $180. Because we I
Whoa.
was mad because
That
I just bought a 65-inch TV a few weeks ago and I thought it was a great deal for like $400, but they're selling for 150, $180. Like the deals are crazy.
400 is a good deal. Wow.
I know, but I think, and everything just started earlier this year. So, but anyway, we don't want people to spend money on TVs. We want
Nope.
people to spend money on breast cancer. So,
That's
this is
true.
one of our favorite shows. We try to do this every Wednesday night. And if you're cooking or snacking or tasting or whatever you're doing, or turn everything off and listen to these lovely ladies. So, we bring on our bestie breasties and let them have the floor.
I
And
love it.
here's what we're doing. And you know our work is a partnership, Mo. I can't do this
Right.
alone. You can't do this alone. No,
Mm-mm.
we have to do it together. And when we created Touch, we created it to be an alliance and to bring
Right.
our breasty sisters together to do this work. And so we all need support. And I think everybody is doing great work, and everybody's doing great work in our communities, in our lanes. Beulah just did this Day of Beauty thing. Tia was saying she did 77 events this year. Like,
Woo.
and Carlin's just getting started on trying to give money for triple negative, and
Hmm.
Tia's been doing this stuff for years, doing her line dancing
Two
and all.
for two boobs is everywhere. You kidding me? Yeah.
Right. So, but we all need support, and we all need support for our work. And
Right.
so, and every dollar counts, and it's funny because, we get new breasties every day.
Yeah.
Every day. How many women get that call? Yes, you do have breast cancer, right?
And the way I think about it too is that people want to know what their dollars are going towards now more than ever, right?
Right,
Because every dollar
right.
counts. And
Every
the
dollar.
organizations that are represented here account for everything, and they're very transparent about how that support goes right back into the communities that they
Right,
serve in very different ways,
right.
and it's meaningful and it's measurable and it's visible. And
Yeah.
so it's not some corporate conglomerate where you're giving some money and every 50 cents that you put into the cash register at Dunkin' Donuts. Like, this is going toward people who really do not only need it but who use it so strategically, and they stretch it. And I think that that's important to people who are giving, because you want to know that it's impacting people's lives directly. And I think that you'll never have those questions when you give to these organizations that are represented here today. Never
That's why I
question.
wore this shirt today, because they all get shit done. These
That's
women are
it.
all massive, and my mug,
Yep.
because we're doing iconic shit.
So
You
who are these women? Who are they? Let's
who are
introduce
you
them.
guys? Tia, go first.
Hello, everyone. I am Tia Tomlin Harris. I am the co-founder of My Style Matters. Yeah. I advocate for me, you, your cousin, and your mama too. That's what we do over here at My Style Matters. And we're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. We provide support and services to women who are disproportionately impacted by breast cancer. So thank you so much for having me today.
And Atlanta, how many women do you think you've touched this year in Atlanta?
Gosh. So within our sisterhood, we have over 650 women. We were kind of going through our numbers, like you mentioned earlier, we did 74 events this year. And I was just like, how in the heck did we do it? So when I looked at our numbers in terms of our reach, it was over 10,000 people that we've reached this year
Wow.
alone.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
So think about that though. I wonder how many women in Atlanta, Black women in Atlanta, have breast cancer.
Yeah.
Right? Or have or are touched by it, by their mama, their auntie, whatever, their cousin, other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that
All
was
right.
just, you know, folks in the community, from teen girls, because we have our teen girls program, on to adult women. Now our goal is to activate them, you know, and get them to come back and support with our organization. So that's our next move now.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you more about that in a little bit. So that we'll put a pin in that, because that's really interesting to hear you say that.
Yeah.
But 10,000 and counting, right? Every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. And Carlin, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been, when did you start the Pink House?
So the Pink House started in January of this year.
Okay.
January of this year. I will say that in one weekend, because it was my first, since I'm the new kid on the block, you know, my first weekend out in October, we reached 300 people. So I'm really excited about that. So the Pink House is my nonprofit organization. I am the CEO and founder, and I spelled the and Pink House. It's very unique. It's TH with a 3, which represents triple negative breast cancer, since I am a 2-time triple negative breast cancer survivor turned thriver. And then House is HAUS, and that's paying homage to my my lineage, the Hassa tribe. So really proud of my organization. Like I mentioned, right out the gate, we had our launch party, and I did speak at a couple of events in October, specifically the weekend of October 21st, and we did reach 300 plus men and women talking about triple negative breast cancer. And I always say that the Pink House is about seeing our communities. We support women who are currently in treatment for triple negative breast cancer by giving a small grant. So we will, and that's for non-medical costs, and we will give out one of those grants here soon. So I'm excited about that. And then also we educate communities of color about triple negative breast cancer and ways to reduce the risk of the disease. And then also we empower women to have a seat at the table, know your numbers, know everything there is to know about you and your health and your family's health, so that when you are at the table and making a decision, you are in the driver's seat. And so I'm excited to be here with you ladies. And I'm really excited to see what the Pink House does in collaboration with each and every one of your organizations. So Ricky, thank you for having me.
Great. And I'm putting everybody's Facebook page in the comments as we go. So great. So we got Atlanta, LA, Beulah. Where are you, babe?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. It is such an honor to be a part of this panel. We are a 501 not-for-profit organization dedicated to educating, empowering, connecting women of color to quality preventive health services. We actually been in our spot since 2001. Sister Working It Out was founded by Dr. Monica Peak. At that time, she was an intern at Rush Presbyterian Hospital, and I was the manager for the mammography department at Stroger, and they just happened to be right across the street. And because of the disparity at that time, we was at 62% right here in Chicago. So we was on the top. We was at one of the top 5. That disparity was so high back at that time. So Dr. Peak and a couple of the other organizations got together, and we formed what we call Sisters Working It Out. So as of today, I am the only original left in the group. But thank God for you lovely women. I have truly been inspired to continue to do what I do, mainly because I am, full disclosure, I am not a breast cancer survivor. So most people would say, well, why are you so involved? Why are you so passionate about it? Because being in my position as a manager for the mammography department, I realized that so many women didn't have the access, or if they couldn't get through me to get them in, it was so hard to find a proper way to get them into the system. So you got 13,000 women that need a mammogram, right? And I can only see 20 a day. So it was kind of playing like Russian roulette. So I have been a part of making sure that women of color is treated just like anybody else. I'm in for the fight. Don't plan to go anywhere. One of the things that we did, just like Tia, This year has really been crazy. We've done over 60 events for the year. We've also reached over 30,000 people this year. And the reason those numbers are so high is because not only did we find out that these women need a mammogram, they also needed food. They also needed a ride to and from their doctor's appointment. And from July up until this month, actually this week, we have given rides to over 500 women who was in service. So we depleted those funds for our transportation. So we are here hoping that Dr. Gray, I was so glad when you said people want to know where their money is going. Well, one of the things is it has been such a pleasure to hear the testimony of the women that actually get to their appointments and get back home after they have their treatment. They're not sitting on the bus. They're not on transportation where you got to drop 20 people off before you can get to your. So with that Uber contract, we was able to, like I said, help over 500 women get those rides to and from the doctor's appointment. So I want you to know that's where our money will be going, Dr. Gray, is to make sure until we are able to get more funds for transportation, that took off like crazy. So that was actually, it was worse than we had predicted it would be. So we are so honored to be part of making sure that these women get to and then to hear their testimony. You have to hear their testimony. It is so touching that they are so appreciative of that type of service. So it's an honor to be here today to say, hey, we're in for the fight, and I'm so glad to be a part of working with my sister.
You know, Ms. Beulah, it's so interesting that you say that because we underestimate there's a term now, financial toxicity. Like we always knew that the finances of cancer was ridiculous and that, you know, it not only mattered how much your co-pays were and how much your chemo was, but just do you have enough food to eat and do you have, you know, your utilities taken care of for the winter time because it's getting cold, and what about your electric and your gas bill and all these things. But something like a ride is such an important thing, and it's not a little thing either, because it's the difference between whether or not you might get that treatment or not. And it's the difference, you know, you miss enough of them, it's the difference between life and death. And so it really, really matters. And I love that you get these testimonials of, you know, people just talking about what a difference something like that makes, because people may want to say, well, what can I do? You know, donate rides, donate money for rides, literally, right? Donate money for prostheses, donate money for all the things that these organizations are doing. And you can earmark that money for what you want it to go to, but do something. And there's something for everybody to do. You don't have to feel like it's so big and insurmountable.
Right.
So I just love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Gray.
Yeah. All right. Tallulah.
Hey. Hi. I'm so happy to be here once again on this Thanksgiving Eve. Tallulah Anderson. I call myself the Chief Thriver Advocate and founder of 2 for 2 Boobs, which is the acronym for take 2 minutes to check your tube, or whatever you have, just go ahead and check. Because, you know, for me, in my history with breast cancer, I found it from doing self-breast checks. I started my organization over 13 years ago here in beautiful Prince George's County, Maryland. And I work to educate, engage, and empower and connect women and men to culturally relevant and relatable information and resources. So we do everything from creative out-the-box events like you mentioned, Ricky, my line dance for a cause, which we just celebrated 10 years. We had close to 250 women and men attend this year. Over the years, I think in that event alone, we've been able to educate over 1,000 people. So that is great. We also participated in Pushing Petals, that's Riding in Pink. So I try to go where the people are, where I can touch men and women, because my family history is one of genetic breast cancer that has affected not just the females in my family, but the males in my family. Our outreach programs has allowed us to effectively reach over the past 3 years, 2,750 women and men. And also I was able to bring a education program to Medicaid in DC. And over the past 2 years, we've been able to educate 600 people who are Medicaid recipients who come to our virtual Breast Health Matters class that I tied in with a sister CBO in Atlanta, Tia, who facilitates that for us. So we are rocking and rolling. And again, we look to engage, connect and make sure people know about all the organizations out here and what is available, where they can reach and how they can reach them. And I enjoy using my voice to do that.
Hey, Tallulah, your family situation is so special. Touched on it, but can you talk more about it? Because you have BRCA on both sides. Both of your parents have breast cancer. Like, tell that story, because it's so compelling that you were born into this disease.
Right. So, unique family history. Dad had breast cancer. Mom first diagnosed with breast cancer, died from breast cancer. After my dad was diagnosed, and then my older sister, that's when I was diligent in doing my self breast check. So, I shared my history with my physicians, who immediately was like, you're going to get mammograms early. And because of that, and sharing that story with the rest of my family, we've been able to educate those, on both sides. I'm the youngest of 7 brothers and 3 sisters. 2 brothers have died from breast cancer. A brother recently, a couple of months ago, died from breast cancer. Why? Not early found in my brothers, because they hesitated. They knew the story, but they always thought cancer, not breast cancer, when it came to my dad. And as a family, I realized we really never talked about it as a family. And so that was the catalyst for me starting my nonprofit and really making sure that I make men a big part of it. Still, there are people in my family, male members, who really think that they can't get breast cancer. And it's my goal to change that.
Wow. Because a couple wows, because one, I'm seeing more and more men with breast cancer, right? And it's real, it's a thing, and hashtag check your chest. 2, the number of organizations that are dedicated to really supporting and specifically doing outreach to men and specifically to Black men is few. There's only a handful. And so the work you're doing is really impactful for that reason too. And I guess I do have one question for you about how you engage men and what types of interactions do they have, because it might not be the same as the pink party and some of the other things. But how do you market and target activities and awareness to men?
So for me, I've tapped into the bicyclists. So I was able to connect with an organization here in the DMV. It's full of men. I also bring in information on prostate cancer. So while they're getting educated on that, they're getting educated on the breast. And I think hearing my story, the story of the men in my family, I think that makes a difference. And being able to share that out more. Actually, my brother wrote about his experience with being diagnosed with breast cancer years ago. And I'm rewriting his story to see if things have changed since then. And for him, he felt that he could not get the same support that women received, right? And he suffered from lymphedema really bad. He tried to outreach to organizations, but was told over and over it was just for women. So there's definitely, I definitely make it a point to include some other organizations that really directly target men, so that those that they outreach to are invited to our events, so that they can be educated as well.
I love that. And think about the motorcyclists too, right? You
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about cyclists. Oh my gosh, there's a whole
Yeah,
untapped.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Those bikers. Yep.
And the
Wow.
barbershops, we got to really, as the barber is cutting and talking about prostate cancer, they should also say, hey, by the way, make sure you check your chest because men can get breast cancer too.
Wow. Wow. Okay, Mo, go get your pot. Everybody's cooking. I know. You got a pot on the stove. We're all cooking. Wow, wow, wow. All right, you guys, this is your show. I think you've done an amazing job kind of talking about what you're doing. Like, I think that, I don't have a lot of money to give away, and you know where all my money goes, right? So, but I think about somebody who has a lot of money, like, what are we competing against? I don't know how anyone can't give to our cause because everybody we know has a breast cancer story, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody we know, like you meet people on the street anywhere. Oh yeah, my aunt had it, or my godmother had it, or my sister-in-law had it, whatever. So, I don't know how people can turn us down in any way. So let's talk about why they should give us money. I mean, I think, the stats are the stats are the stats. This is the worst disease for Black women everywhere, globally. We have a 41% higher mortality rate. And I'll just talk about the numbers for a second. I talk about it all the time. We have a 38%, 39% higher recurrence rate. We have a 71% higher relative risk of death. We get triple negative breast cancer at 3 times the rate of white women, and we don't know why. The one I hate the most is Black women under 35 get breast cancer at twice the rate and die at 3 times the rate. And well before they would get a mammogram right now, even with what people are thinking are better screening numbers, And down the line, we have dense breasts. Women with dense breasts are 4 to 6 times more likely to get breast cancer. We could keep going with these stats, but we're dying. And you know what? White women aren't dying. I mean, white women are dying of breast cancer. I don't want to minimize that, but not with these numbers. And they're catching it younger, and they're catching it at earlier stages, and they're living. They're getting a little lumpectomy and they're good to go. And we're seeing our sisters get lumpectomies, and guess what? It comes back because we don't know that a lumpectomy is a proven vehicle for our breast cancer because it's never been tested, right? We're taking chemo, and like for me and Tia, and for Carlin, it came back. Our triple negative, it all came back. Why did it come back? Did the drugs not work the first time? They didn't, right? And so we are it's a crisis. It's a crisis situation. And we're not going to change the game here until we start to really do things differently. And I think that all the stuff that we're doing is helping women get through but we need some major changes in how the science is happening, right? So that's sort of my lane that I'm in, but we need all of the things. We need all of the hugs. We need all of the all of the support. We need all of the love we can get through this disease. And here comes Tiara on cue because she can talk about what she's doing to help women. We talked you up.
Happy early Thanksgiving.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that I don't know how anyone could say no to any of us. So, I mean, Tiara, could you do a little quick spiel on who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. And I just have to let you all know that I have a special guest here, which is my 10-year-old son. So he's here in attendance. I'm just going to have him say hello.
Hi.
Judy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Doing good. Was mom late for carpool?
Was I late for carpool?
No.
Not today, right?
Not today, thankfully. But it's truly an honor to be with you all today. And it's just, such a wonderful time of year to be able to gather with family and friends. And I was just actually reflecting, I have my father in town, my mom is here, and just tons of family in town. And I spent a lot of time today thinking about how grateful I am to be present and what that looks like for me being a breast cancer survivor, and joining this call and being able to share with you and being able to be present with you and knowing that early detection saved my life. And what I wanted to, and I was kind of meditating and praying on what I wanted to share, because I've been on Ricky and Dr. Mo's show a couple of times, and I wanted to make sure that I brought a unique perspective today. And what I want to share is that the BEXA Equity Alliance, we are formed to provide life-saving early detection breast exams for the women who are most in need. And I know that early detection saved my life, and being able to be present with my family and my friends is a gift. And had I not had early detection, I do not know if I would be here today. So with that being said, this device is a life-saving device. It is a BEXA device, and it is, what we do in the BEXA Equity Alliance is we provide early detection breast exams with BEXA. We provide free breast exams to underserved populations and women of color. And what we do is we go through sponsorships, our allies and our partners, and we go into the community and we provide these free breast exams that are accurate, painless. The device is portable. And most importantly, there's no radiation. You can be pregnant, you can be breastfeeding, you can have implants, you can be all the things. And the most important part is that we can meet the women where they are. We were just, excuse me, at Brentwood Baptist Church this past weekend with the National Minority Quality Forum providing breast exams. And again, I know I say this every time I'm on the show, but we had an incredible wait list. And we were able to serve the community and provide breast exams that they want, right? We've proven the adoption. The beauty of it is that we overcome breast density. So a younger woman in her 30s or even in her 20s can come and get a breast exam and know that she's getting an accurate exam and understanding what her breast health looks like and what her breasts look like. And to me, it is extremely important that we're able to provide that to, again, the women who are most in need. So again, I don't want to take up too much time. I am very passionate about this work. Ricky knows, Dr. Mo knows that I will come on and I'll stay for a long time. So again, it's truly an honor to be here with you all today. I'm truly blessed to be alive, to be thriving with, the opportunity to be able to provide these free breast exams with BEXA through the BEXA Equity Alliance. So I encourage you all to check out our website, bexaequityalliance.org, and to see where we are next and to see the work that we are doing in the community and saving lives every single day. And again, can't stress enough, it's truly an honor to do this work.
Tia, you want to?
Yeah, so thank you, Tiara. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see you in Chicago. I was hoping to get a chance to see your team. It's okay.
I know, I'm sorry. And my best friend got married, so that was the one event I could not go to, and I apologize. Yeah, but yes, next time for sure.
Absolutely. But, Ricky, you were talking about, what are some things that people can do? And, you were talking about our organizations and, Black women are dying. Yes, we hear that. But the beauty in this space and looking at all of us is we do something different. And I think that's a wonderful thing because you can't just do one thing. We have to do everything to be able to save our Black women.
All the things. We have to do all the things.
Yeah. And our goal at My Style Matters is to make, for health to be the new pink, right? And so when we think about that in My Style Matters, one of the things that we focus on is helping people to make healthier choices and safer choices. So we provide 6 weeks of fresh produce at no cost. We're addressing the food swamps, the food deserts, making sure that people have access to healthy foods, especially while they're undergoing treatment. The other thing we do is we provide non-toxic care kits because we want to make sure that they're not only focused on what they're putting in their bodies, but also what they're putting on their bodies. We have our educational programs. One, as Tallulah mentioned, that we partner with Tallulah on for 2 for 2 Boobs is our Breast Health Matters educational program, where we're educating teen girls and women about breast health. So, when we talk about these numbers, we're starting them young. We've taken that information out of the schools. And so we're reaching these teen girls to talk about breast health. And it's funny because when they see me, they're like, hey, you're the lady that talked about boobs, you know. Right. But they remember we planted a seed in them, and they think about that. And they always say, our motto is, hey girl, hey, have you checked your breast today? So anytime I see them out on the street, they say that back to me. And I think it's so cute. But again, we're planting the seeds in these young girls. We have our plant-based program where it's a new cooking class, a food for life, where we're teaching people how to prepare healthy meals. We also have our eliminating toxins and reducing exposures, because we need to know, especially Black women, we need to know that all of these hair care products and skincare, I'm not gonna say all, but a lot of the products that we're using that are out here on the shelves, we're not informed and educated about these products. And they're putting us at greater risk for breast cancer, makeup, and especially with the kids, right? They're like I mean, when we were growing up, it was just a little bit of lip liner, a little bit of mascara, you know, a little lip gloss. Now, these children at young ages, they're putting everything on their face, and then some. And so we really educate them about, yes, you can still do all of that stuff, but just choose safer products. And we help guide them and give them insight on what that looks like. And then we like to take all of this, you know, we also have our support group, and we were talking a little bit about that earlier. And we also do our navigation program, because we want to hold women's hands to make sure that they really understand their disease. They know how to read their pathology reports. They know where they can go, you know, in the event that they're not getting the care that they need and deserve, that we are able to help them navigate that process. So what we do is with all of this stuff, you know, all of these services that we offer, we want to give people healthy living experiences. So we have our Restore Hope Wellness Retreat, where we invite women to actually come out and experience what it is to live healthy. So again, going back to what I was saying before, what we do at My Style Matters is kind of focus on the risk reduction and the prevention side. You know, we want to make sure that, again, health is the new pink. And when we're talking about, you know, today is, you know, or this week rather, we're talking about Thanksgiving, you know, what we really want to just tell people who are tuned in is impact is the new Black, and we need people to get on board. You know, we talk about all these other things and how we're trying to help people, but really at the end of the day, talk is cheap. We need to see action. We need to move people to action. And so, you know, we have these grassroots nonprofit organizations that are here. We are out here doing this work sacrificially and unselfishly. We are doing this work. And, you know, you probably see bags under all of our eyes because we don't sleep.
We're tired. We don't sleep.
We are tired. We're tired of Black women dying. But, you know, we're just here to do what we can, do this work. If we don't do it, who's going to do it, right? You know, if we don't care about our own community, who's going to care? And so when we look at even the youth, you know, we're doing this work. So I have 2 nieces and my nephews. I don't ever want them to have to hear it's cancer in their lifetime. They have an auntie and a daddy who was diagnosed with cancer. My brother was diagnosed with testicular cancer at 32, stage 4. You know, so again, we're just here to just educate our community. And not just educate them, but also give them the tools and the resources so that they can make informed decisions and they can be empowered to take control of their health.
That's great. That's great. I got to show you a picture. This is Amanda had her first mammogram today. She's 38.
Awesome.
And Belle went with her, like, and so Belle's like, check your boobs. But these are who I work for. Like, I don't want Belle to ever say the words breast cancer. And she's already understanding it so much because of our work. And now Amanda's gearing up to get a prophylactic mastectomy, which is why she had to get a mammogram. But I want it to go away. We want it to go away. And so, you know, we're all working because this is our God job, you guys.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, we're all doing this work because we know we're blessed to be here.
Right.
You know, and,
I'd like to, Ricky, I'd like to say thanks to Tiara. Tiara, I'm the person that you didn't show up for the breast exam. That was my event here in Chicago. So I'm feeling a little deprived of having you here, but it's okay the next time. Okay. But
Absolutely.
one of the things I can say about that, I had a 80-year-old visitor at our event, and she came up to me. She said, no matter what I say to my doctors, they would not give me a mammogram. And my sister-in-law mother was diagnosed with breast cancer at 85, right? And she chose not to get in care. So she was just telling me how she was so disappointed that she wanted that mammogram that nobody would give her. So I said, girl, we got you today. So we took her over to where we had you guys set up in the room, and we had a little line outside waiting to do it. And she ended up calling me Monday. So I just got back in town from the event, and now people are reaching out to say, the best thing that happened to us was during our Day of Beauty. Our Day of Beauty, I call our grand finale, right? So that means that we bring all our partners together, and that's why I said I am so honored to have all these on board that I could reach out and touch. And when I called Ricky and told Ricky what I was trying to do, she sent Haley. And everybody, I think everybody on this line knows Haley, right? So I don't even have to talk about what Haley does because Haley actually just jumped in and took this over and told me all the things I was going to do. She didn't give me a choice. So, but it worked out. We had over 203 people to attend. And I thank Tia for flying in, for helping out. She was on the panel. She actually did our care portion of the breakout room. So we just, we had quite a few. And everybody knows what the Day of Beauty is for. And what I like about Tia, we are actually talking about some things that we could do together where it comes up for the makeup, because that's what everybody is there for. And we started the Day of Beauty mainly because more women would say, I don't feel attractive. I don't look good. I hate to look at myself in the mirror. So all of those things, then that's how the Day of Beauty was born. Just because I listened to other women's stories to say how unattractive they felt. And then, we do October, we do the full October, we actually do a wig drive. So anybody who want to donate wigs. And then in November, we basically take all those wigs and have beauticians that actually cut those wigs to fit their head. So I think between our Day of Beauty and our thriving, our community partners, we have just been so blessed, and to be able to get those funds to help us out with some of the things that we're doing, because as Tia said, we are a grassroots organization. We're trying to figure out every day how we're going to be sustainable to make sure we continue to do the work we're doing. And now that we've been in a position where we're there, we can't go back. That it's not an option to go back and say we don't have any more transportation, or we can't do another Day of Beauty, or we don't have a cancer support group. We don't have any food this month because we feed over 300 families per month. Per month, that's what we do for these women. So the thing is, please, if you have it in your heart to be a blessing to all of us, it's just a few of us. So what that slogan said, just a few good men. So just a few good women. So we're so honored to be a part of it.
But I love what you said, Beulah, about we can't go back. None of us can go back. We're just going to go bigger and bad, and do more. I mean, we can't go back. We don't really have a choice. And so we're going to figure it out. We always do. We can stretch $1, we can do whatever. But I mean, we've had 3 breasties on chemo call us from living in their car in the past 2 months. Mm-hmm. On chemo, living in their car. Mm-hmm. What do you do with that, right? How do you, how can you not help them? And I can't even figure out how many countless others were on the verge of living in their car. Mm-hmm. Calling us saying, I'm on my 3rd month not paying my mortgage or my rent. And, they wouldn't be in that position if they didn't have breast cancer.
Right.
They'd be able to work and take care of themselves. And a lot of them are like very vital, self-sufficient women. But this disease takes your life by storm. And oh my God, all of a sudden you're almost homeless. You're homeless. Like you had a job yesterday and now you don't. You know what I mean? Like it's scary that how an illness can just take you down. And a lot of it too is like the emotional trauma that we go through, right?
And I think what gets underestimated too is the loss of lifetime earning, the loss of the vacations, the loss of all the things that happen thereafter, because even if and when your treatment is over, there's still residual side effects. There's still some, quality of life issues, limitations. And it's not just, oh, you're done, go and put your pink tutu on and live your best life. And I feel like there needs to be a conversation surrounding that, because especially as people are diagnosed younger and younger, that lifetime of loss is compounded, and it's not something that we address entirely in terms of just even retirement savings, in terms of fertility, in terms of sexual wellness, so many things that cancer tries to take from us, that and it's going to be the sisters that's going to have to save ourselves, right? Like we all kind of know, whether it's genetics and whether it's the science, whether it's in the social space, whether it's in the preventive space and in the cosmetics, right? Because I did a Tia, I did an interview for Yahoo talking about hair relaxers, right? And I said, okay, it's great that we're finding out that the hair relaxers have a problem and that they cause endocrine disruption, but where's the funding for the Black scientists and the Black companies that want to develop new and innovative products, right? We just go ban everything off the market. What are we supposed to use? And why isn't there some subsequent support for innovation in that space? And the innovation dollars are drying up.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
If I can share just real quick, being in the Los Angeles area, I will say when I was diagnosed 10 years ago, the closest support group was about 45 minutes to an hour away from me. And other Black women, it was hard. My first support group was with a group of elderly white women whom I grew to love, and they loved me, and they gave me a plethora full of information, things in order for me to, get through surgery, treatment, everything. But it would have been nice to be with women who look like me, women that I could talk to, share the experience with, cry with, laugh with, and so now moving forward 10 years later, actually, before I got diagnosed the second time, I thought, you know what, I want to create an environment for Black women in LA, in the Valley, what they call the Valley, because in Los Angeles, there are groups. However, I'm meeting more and more women in the Valley where I reside that are being diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, triple positive breast cancer, all the breast cancers you can think of, but I'm meeting more and more with TNBC. And so I thought, well, let me, start my organization so that these women, we can come together and they do not have to drive 45 minutes to an hour just to have a cup of coffee and talk about how they're feeling, what they're thinking, asking questions. And I've even met women online who I asked one in particular, she called me and we were talking. It was a mutual, one of my relatives that said, hey, you need to talk to this woman. She was diagnosed with TNBC as well. And we were talking and I asked her a simple question. And that question was, well, what cocktail do they have you on? What drugs? And she said, you know what, Carlin, I don't know. Where do I find that information? My heart broke immediately, and I thought, wow. And so, I spoke to her about that and she said, well, I can, contact the doctor. I can ask. I said, absolutely. You can ask because this is your body. This is your life. It's only one life that you have. So, and also I will say that my story has been a blessing. The oncologist I had 10 years ago is still my oncologist today. And because he knows me very well, and I expressed this last week on blackdoctor.org in our conversation about cold capping, is because he knows me very well. He said, and there's an option for cold capping. Let me make sure you have all the information that you need. But it really breaks my heart to know that there are other women who look like me, who do not get this information, who don't even know where to begin and what steps to take. And so I will say that me being the newcomer, as far as being a CEO of a nonprofit, being able to reach out to my sisters here on camera, has been, it's amazing. And Ricky, I will, my grandmother always said, give your flowers while people are still living. And I will say, and I tell Ricky this all the time, I love you and thank you for seeing me, because, I had no idea where to go. I'm this little fish in this pond, right? And this is a fight that we're going to be fighting until the good Lord sees fit to put us in the ground, and obviously we are here for that very reason, to fight and continue to fight, you know, because he spared all of our lives, right? And so it's you know, continuing to carry the torch. But again, you know, I will say that I'm grateful for, on this Thanksgiving Eve, I am grateful to have the opportunity to be here to talk about these things, and whatever I can do, I would love to, you know, definitely collaborate, because this work is, it's just not done, unfortunately, you know, and I will say, fortunately, but unfortunately, all the work that we're doing, we're going to be able to pass that baton. You know, I have 2 daughters. I have 2.5 granddaughters, because the other one's coming shortly, you know, another one. And so, you know, just knowing that, you know, my daughters and my granddaughters will have the information that they need, because you do not have to die. You do not. Breast cancer is not a death sentence, but the more that we know and the more that we are equipped and have the information, we can continue to thrive. So I just wanted to say, you know, thank you. Thank you to all of you for who have been carrying this torch and doing the work that you all have been doing for years. Thank you. Because I did have to reach out to a different state as well to get the information that I needed in order to do what I needed to do 10 years ago, my first diagnosis.
Wow.
And yeah, and for me, it's all about that. It's partnering and supporting one another and sharing out on what we do, right? Just like that highway we started, and where everybody interconnect. For me, you know, this Thanksgiving, this holiday season, that's what it's always been about: giving, right? And supporting the best way that you can. Our organization, we found a way to do that during this time of the season when it's hard on people. So we've been able to provide gift cards for fresh produce, for food around Thanksgiving, as well as gift cards for those women who have children that just need some extra help, or to spend it on themselves, right? Do something to make you feel good about yourself.
Get your nails done, right? Yeah.
And tapping into those places and where there is a gap. I think Beulah, you mentioned it. One thing that I want to do in this area is all around natural wigs. You know, someone called me asking where could they get a natural wig donated, and can I find somebody that could cut and style it for them? So I was on a mission to do that. You know, now I'm raising money to do that, right? So that is a gap area. Tiara, you know, I work in managed care. We need somebody to come where the women are to do screenings. There's only one vehicle, that's one bus that's in this DMV area that will go out and do mammogram screenings. But how about just coming in and getting women comfortable and not afraid in the communities where they live, right? So it's making sure that we connect. I'm taking back Tiara's information to managed care and saying, hey, how can we bring her out to do some things for us out here in the community? And I appreciate the opportunity to hear more, like Beulah like Carlin just mentioned. Thank you, Ricky, for giving us this platform and connecting us women and other men included that you've had on your show, so that we know what people do, right? And we know where we can connect and how we can partner.
Yeah, we need each other. We can't do it alone, you know. And I love, you know, that we're all connecting, and we have to do more of it, you know. So we actually have our two interns working on finding a grassroots Black women-led organization in every state. And so as of yesterday, we've done 41 states. The states we're missing are Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota, so Montana. So we're missing those states, but they're Black people there. We're going to find them.
They're out there. They're out there. I'm telling you, they're everywhere.
ISIS is on the case. You know, Ari's little sister's doing it for us, but but it's also, I said, go find like a military base because we know there's some Black women. And I learned a new stat from talking to Sheila. Black women in the military have a 40% higher rate of breast cancer.
Yes.
Not crazy, serving our country.
And it's interesting though, because what it speaks to, people always like to say it's an underinsured issue. It's a socioeconomic issue. It's an issue of, I don't know, obesity or whatever. But these are folks who have, right? They have the same insurance, standardized insurance. They have education. They have health literacy. They have routine screenings, right? Like all that stuff is mandated. And it's still, the disparity, the mortality is still higher. The incidence is still higher. And it's the argument that I use to combat all the time when people just try to say, oh, it's because, diabetes and hypertension and overweight and, it's because, Black people are poor or because they don't have access. It's not an access issue. There's more to it.
Issue. It is not an access issue.
And access is an issue overall.
It is an issue, but
you can't just hang it on that, right?
You can't hang it on that, but that's why it's so important what we all do, you guys, because we are in the community. And you know what I say about that? Where Black women live, work, play, pray, and slay. But we have to go to them. And that's why we're tired, because we have to go to them. And people ask me if I'm tired. Aren't you tired? I'm like, I'm not tired. Sorry. I probably should be tired, but I don't have time to be tired.
Right.
We have too much work to do.
Ricky, I want to jump in and just share with you. I was just thinking about this earlier this morning. I was thinking about in my previous career, how I would get extremely tired and drained and just burnt out. And I was thinking about this week and how I was on a call yesterday and a couple of meetings today, and everyone's like, aren't you, tapping out? It's the holidays. And normally I would say, yes, like I'm done. I need a break, but this work, it is so powerful, the work that we're doing. It is so purposeful. We are doing the work that God put us on this earth to do. I know as survivors, we went through it, right? But we made it, and we are here for a reason. And it fuels my soul, the work that we're doing. And every day I wake up and I'm like, okay, what can I do today? Like,
what are we doing?
I can't get enough of it. Everyone needs this, right? Our women, Black women, women of color, this is a necessity. It's critical. The work that we're doing is so crucial to our communities. And it's just, I say it over and over again, but it is just such an honor to do this work. I wake up every day so grateful, thinking about Thanksgiving again, just so grateful to do this work. And I just never get tired. And everyone's like, you work like 9 days a week. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't faze me, and I'm a mom and I have a family, and I just keep going. But God gives me the strength to keep going every day. I'm like, I guess I should be tired, but no, I'm not, because I know I see these women, and every time I go into the community and I touch the lives of women that I never knew I would have never touched these lives had I not gone through what I went through with cancer and being diagnosed at 33, no family history. Speaking about, Mo, you were saying that, women are Black women who get diagnosed are, obese and this and that. It's like, listen, I juice cleanse once a month. My friends always used to make fun of me. They're like, oh, here she goes again with these juice cleanses. And again, 33, no family history, healthy as can be, work out 5 days a week. And yet I got diagnosed at 33, stage 1 invasive ductal carcinoma, advocated for myself my entire journey, had the best insurance. I like to call it the Cadillac insurance, and still went through and back to get the care that I deserve. So I know for a fact that a woman who's uninsured, who has a family, who has 5 kids, is a single mom struggling to make ends meet. I know what her battle feels like. I can just take a glimpse and say, wow, I know what she's feeling. I know what she's thinking. I know that she's putting her kids first and she's doing all these things, but she deserves the care that each and every one of us deserves. So that's why we do this work. It's an honor to do this work. And I'm just so grateful to be on this call with you all. Ricky, thank you. My love for you is so deep. And all the women on this call, I'm just so grateful for you all. And in this season of, gratefulness and thankfulness, it's just the work we're doing it's critical. And, we were chosen to do this work, and it's a beautiful space to be in, because not all women that look like us are chosen to do this work. So I just wanted to share. So thank you all.
I got a question.
We're passing the bowl now.
Yeah, right. The doors of the church are open.
Okay.
If somebody were to ask you if there were one thing in particular that you wanted funding for, you wanted to do something, like, what's on your heart, like in your wildest dreams, I guess, if you can share, if you're willing to share, but is there anything that you're working towards that folks should know about, as far as because we understand the mission of your organization as a whole, but maybe you're working on getting a van, maybe you're working on having a hub, having a site, I don't know, is there any one thing that that's part of the big ask for your organizations?
I'll quickly jump in and say that for the BEA, our main mission this upcoming year in 2024 is to place hubs in every major city, so that at least we can reach the women in underserved populations in every major city. And then, moving forward, we'll start to spread into other locations. But if we can get a hub in Chicago, in LA, in Miami, in DC, it would just really help us to move the needle, because we do have one in Dallas, Texas right now at HHM Health. We, through an Oscar Health grant, we are able to provide free BEXA exams every Wednesday and one Saturday a month. And it is just incredible. This is how we move the needle. A 30-year-old can go and get a breast exam that's accurate, that's painless, that's for her, and helps her to understand her breast health. And it really does help with women being comfortable at a younger age, saying, I understand my breast and I'm comfortable speaking about it. It's changing the narrative of being scared. Speaking of Thanksgiving, sit at those dinner tables, have those conversations, talk about your family history, be comfortable with that. But again, yes, for the BEA, we would just love to be able to put a hub in every major city, so that when we do the activations, when we do go in the community, when we're not able, and we have these wait lists, we're able to say, okay, we're so sorry we can't get to you, but guess what? We have this hub where you can go and you can get a free breast exam with BEXA. So for us, that is our ultimate goal for 2024, is to be able to reach as many women as possible, and going into the community and having a place where they can go and feel safe and remove the fear that they have, and knowing that there is a breast exam that is for them. So thank you.
We can all go to your hub in our cities, right?
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
I would say for the Pink House, my biggest ask would be funding, sponsorships, because like I said, being new, that is probably, I'm not going to say probably, it is the hardest thing right now. And I would say that money is for those women. Listen, 10 years ago, I lost all of my hair. I wish that I could have connected or knew Tia or her organization, because the thing is, when you look good, you feel good, right? And so if my organization can gift a woman a full spa while she is going through treatment, do you know how that would make her feel? Eyelashes, a good meal, you know what I mean? Food that is good for the body, and she doesn't have to sit there and make a decision on whether to feed her children McDonald's or go and buy some organic produce. I want to be able to give monies for that. I know that 10 years ago, even with my insurance and my husband's insurance, I still had a $1,000 deductible just to have an MRI. So if I can gift another woman that, pay her co-payment, whatever it is, but I need funding. I need them dollars, to be able to help these women who are less fortunate, right? I mean, circumstances happen. I am not just me, but I'm sure several of us have seen families, especially when COVID hit. People are losing their homes. They are losing their jobs. Right. Some people are losing their health benefits. And so I just want to help as much as I can and do what I can, to help a family whose mother is currently going through this god-awful disease, because it's not easy. It is not easy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I can connect someone to wigs, natural wigs, whatever can be done. And listen, with the Pink House, there's so many other avenues and things that I want to do. However, we definitely need funding. We need the money to do that, which I'm sure all of us need. So that is just my major ask right now, just to be able to help an uninsured, underinsured woman who is currently going through triple negative breast cancer. And also the last thing that I would ask for is I'm working with another organization on the TNBC Act of 2023. So my ask would be to please get on the phone, call your House of Representative, your congressional representative, and ask them to please co-sponsor this bill. The bill gives, it would provide funding for education and research about triple negative breast cancer. So please, 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 with this other organization, I went to Capitol Hill along with some
Tiger
other
Lily, right? With Tiger Lily, right?
Yes, Tiger Lily. Yes, with Tiger Lily. Thank you. You know, still suffering from chemo brain, y'all. I just finished chemo in June. So yes, with Tiger Lily. And so you know, we went, there was a group of us, we represented 20 states. I will say what was very hard for me was meeting a young woman, I believe she was 25 years old, who had just been diagnosed and battled triple negative breast cancer. And then I met several other women currently still in the fight. So that would be my ask, is to please call your congressional representative, ask them to co-sponsor this bill so that we can get some funding towards education and research for triple negative breast cancer. Thank you.
Great. And I put everybody's Facebook link in the comments. Now I'm putting everybody's website.
So for me, the one thing that I would ask for funding around is strictly around what I spoke on, is educating more men about being diligent about their test. And if that's in some type of campaign or bringing more male voices to be heard, that will definitely be one of our goals in the new year.
Tallulah, we should plan a date. Email me later, like some dates like in after March, and let's do a show on men. We haven't done one for a while.
Okay. We'd love to. Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, I put together and sent my first male care box out like last month. So, you know, I was like, what is it he wants? You know, it's not what I think from a female perspective. I had that conversation. I gave him what he needed.
Great.
So
I think we can get him on the show. Let's get him on the show.
He wasn't ready to speak.
No.
When he's ready, yes. Okay. We'll do.
For sure. For sure.
I would say for me, of course, money is always a necessity. You know, we want to create a place of respite for cancer patients. We have a facility that we're looking at right now. We need, of course, funding to help us with the facility, but more so we need hands. We need people. We need bodies. There's so many people that are out here that have talents. You know, we need those people. We need web designers. We need social media experts. Like, we need bodies. We need people to help us. I need some folks or some funds from Home Depot and Lowe's for painting the facility and interior designers. Like, those are the types of things that we need. You know, if I'm thinking about like that big wow thing that we really want to do. And it's a place where people can go to heal, to focus on their healing. Sometimes we get caught up in our day-to-day life while we're going through our treatment, and we don't get a chance to heal. And sometimes it's hard to heal in your environments. You know, I think about when I was hit with breast cancer the second time, and I made a choice, you know, made the decision to forego chemo and radiation, and I focused on healing, but I had to have a space to really heal. You know, to do integrative modalities and things of that nature, to make sure that I was eating healthy without any distractions, and I was able to do that. And I hear a lot of women who want to be able to do those things, you know, to focus on their health, but they don't have the space to do it. You know, it's crowded, it's people, it's family members, you know, who may not be eating healthy, who may not be doing, you know, maybe doing things that just are counterproductive for their healing. And so that's my big, you know, dream, to be able to create something like this. But again, right now, you know, the low-hanging fruit is, I need bodies. I need those who have the
expertise. If you're in Atlanta, reach out to Tia. She needs your bodies.
Yes, I need your bodies.
and Tallulah too.
You know what? We call it time, talent, and treasures, right?
Yeah,
we want your time, talent, and your treasure.
Right.
Impact is the new Black. Get on board.
Yeah. And I would just like to piggyback off of Tia. The funny thing about what you just said was, body was what I needed. So I was in a meeting yesterday with the day before yesterday with Northwestern Hospital, and you know, they was asking me questions about what we did, what we need, and like I said, since we've been in transportation and it's a part of our journey, it's just basically we're so in need of making sure we get our transportation back. So I'm not, you know, there's so many things on the high list, but that one is kind of basically have topped my list is for transportation. But yesterday, while I was in this meeting, and one of the director asked me, well, what is it that you really need? And I said, I can show you better than I can tell you. So I took her upstairs and I said, can we do a quick walkthrough? Because I was talking to, I always tell people my husband evicted us. So my husband put me out of the house because he said we were getting too large. So I like to play it that my husband evicted me. So I called this minister wife one morning, 4:30, guys, please. I got it. I didn't get in trouble, thank God. But because I wasn't thinking, I made this phone call at 4 a.m. and she answered. And I said, hey, this is the issue I have. I know God is telling me I need to get out of my basement. I can't do what I need to do in my basement. And I need you to let me in that building. And she just said, oh, okay. And I'm thinking like, and so if that's all you want, then I could do it. And then I looked at the clock and saw what time it was. So now her husband makes a joke, and he called me at 6:30 one morning. He said, well, I figure if you can call my wife at 4:30, I could call you at 6:30. So we actually have our own place now, and we do need that. So I took them to, I gave them I actually gave them a tour of our new place, and it needs a lot of work, but I'm so grateful for the place. And she actually sent me a note yesterday, Tia. Not only she has 3 departments that has volunteered to come out to help us get situated in our new location. So so we got somebody. So one of the things that we need to do is to paint. So, you know, if anybody gonna start giving, you can give some money so we can buy some paint. So we hate for them to come and volunteer, and then we don't have what they need to actually do the work, right? So like Tia, if you know Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, anybody that want to donate us at least 10 gallons of paint, you know, we'll be happy to take that. So between our transportation and getting our space available so we can serve these women that we're serving, you know, it was, and I am so grateful for, I mean, I hear all of us talking about wigs. I struggle with wigs, but for the last 2 years, God has truly blessed. I'll just go and put boxes out in businesses and say, and for the entire month, anybody you know that would drop off a wig, we'll take it. And we really did well this year for the Day of Beauty. And just one more thing that we was talking about, we have what we call a Thankful Thursday. One of the things, Tallulah, we did, even with the women that's going through, during COVID, we found out there were so many issues with these women, but they could not get. So I basically talked to all of them. What didn't you have while you was going through chemo that you didn't have? And everything they told me that they wish that they had, we actually put what we call on Thursday, Thankful Thursday. We put a basket together for everything these women said they wish they had while they was going through chemo. So every time a patient, I find out we have a patient who's been diagnosed, you know, what didn't you have that you need? And then we do this big, huge basket, and we actually take it over to them and say, these are some of the things women that's been through the journey already, wish they had while they was going through, you know, like little fuzzy socks, blankets. Right. So, you know, if you've been, well, all of you guys already had that experience, but for me to go and sit in with a woman who's actually going through chemo, it was cold in there to me. So what we do is make sure they have a blanket to cover up and you know, things to do because when you go through chemo, you can't read, but we do give them inspirational books to read. So if they don't, just take your time and color. So those are some of the things we do on our Thankful Thursday. I love Thanksgiving. As y'all can hear, I get excited when we talk about this. Why do I love it? It's because I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that we don't have to fly solo anymore. We have each other that we can pick up the phone and call and say, I don't want to be out here by myself because I have a sister that needs me and I need you to pray for me. And one of the things that I'm working on for 2024, in order for me to stay in this fight, I have to take care of me. So one of the things I'm about to do for me is to do some self-care so I can be in a position to give to one of them.
Right. So
Wow.
so you have a building in Chicago. So why can't we put a hub there?
Let's get the funding and let's get it done.
Let's get it done. And also, so Tia did 74 events. The Tallulah did whatever thousands of events. Carlin's just did her first event. We have to figure out how to get funding so you can send people to all these events and scan. So we're going to work on that. We have some lofty goals, but I'll ask anybody for money. I have no.
You got the place. I got the place. So that's all we need.
But let's do it.
And I hope people
they give me total autonomy to whatever I need in the place.
Yeah.
So that's a blessing all by itself.
And if you're watching, don't just think about your own individual giving, right? But start campaigns to challenge your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, and even your job.
Partners,
corporate. Many of our jobs will do matching.
Yeah.
Corporate matching. And so there's opportunities for you to take whatever you can do and expand it. If you only got $10, challenge 10 friends, and now we got 100.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a little thing to tag 10 people, because people tagging you anyway, they're adding everybody. And so guess what? At everybody, right? All your friends, and ask them to give $1.
Give $1. Yeah.
If all your friends gave $1 and you got 3,000 friends, woo, look what you did.
Yeah, look what I made.
That's $1.
Everybody gives us
I love that.
Money we're gonna give you. If you give us $250, you can get one of these.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous.
If you give us $100,000, you get these.
If you don't have it, don't think that you can't get it. And that, this is the beauty of crowdfunding.
Friends, ask for your friends. And Amanda did a show on GoFundMe.
We should replay it.
So will we play that over the hot? Will we play that this weekend? We'll play it on our website. On our Facebook page. But let's all set up GoFundMes. Let's do whatever by any means necessary we can get this money. And Amanda gave some really good tips on GoFundMe. So now's the time. It's Giving Tuesday. It's only Wednesday. Thanksgiving is tomorrow.
Yeah, we had a lot to be thankful for. And I know that a lot of women are thankful for each and every one of you. And I'm thankful for y'all. Wow. So thank you.
Yes.
So we hope it's been relatable and reliable. Go ahead.
One more thing before we close. So my Thanksgiving philosophy is know your her story. I cook a lot of the food, not all of it anymore, but I get everybody circle up. You say what you're thankful for, but you can't get any of my food until we start talking about your numbers. What's your blood pressure? What's your A1C? When was your last mammogram? What's your PSA? How, do you need to be losing any weight? Like, I make the whole family fess up. And they used to really hate it. Now they just hate it a little bit because they know I'm going to do it. That's my purpose for Thanksgiving. And I'm a really good cook, but you want this food, you got to work for it. You got to tell me your numbers. And so use tomorrow as a conversation starter for your her story, for your family. Make people put it on the table and bring it out and say, to your brothers, Tallulah, when's your mammogram? To your and I think we have to start these conversations in our families. And so I know I'm a pain in the ass, but I don't really care.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're glad you are.
We're glad you are. Parties to anyone who wants to help fundraise. Great. And we're all going to put ourselves out there. You have our websites, everyone. And if you need more information, I can put you into these lovelies. And
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
right. Volunteer your time, talents, and treasures because
Right.
it
Yeah.
is all needed and appreciated, and it's going towards the sisters who are saving ourselves. And that's it. That's what this has always been about, and that's what we hope to do and encourage everybody to do. So get involved. Don't just think you can't do anything. You don't have no power. It's bigger than you. It's so much for you to do, and to just do that one thing, right? Even if all you got's $1. That dollar can amplify.
We'll take $1. We'll take $1.
Get involved. That's right.
Yeah.
Challenge your friends and everybody get into the spirit of giving. So
Yeah.
that's our call to action today is give something, do something,
Right.
make it happen.
Right.
We're the ones we've been waiting for. That's it. That's all I got to
Thank
say.
you.
We can do it.
Bestie love. Love you
Yeah.
guys so much.
You
Happy
all.
birthday.
You.
You guys so much.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So grateful
Yes.
for you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
The
Love
word
you guys
great.
to life.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye.
Blessing.
Bye.
Don't eat too much.
Bye.